Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are talking Hylamide, a brand by Deciem and the sister company to The Ordinary, which I discovered around a year ago. At the time, I did a first impressions rundown of the products that I've been able to get my hands on and try, and overall, I was pretty impressed with the products that I sampled. However, a year's passed, and so I wanted to sit down and share my updated thoughts and feelings. I've been using a lot of the products over the past 12 months, and so now I think is a great time to be able to share with you the results I've got from them, and whether I think they're ding ding ding, holy grail must-haves for your own skincare routine, or whether they're total fails that you should just save your money on. So, if you want to sit back, relax, and let's talk a little bit more about Hylamide. When I filmed my initial first impressions video, which actually I'll leave a link to up there if you do want to check that out and kind of see my first impressions of these products, I think I was a little bit harsh on Hylamide. I don't think I fully appreciated what they were trying to deliver as a brand. So they're designed to be multi-purpose, multifunctional, and multi-active skincare products. They're kind of designed to complement The Ordinary, which is a sister company and is very much focused down on single active ingredients. Hylamide is designed for people that want to have a minimal skincare routine, get all the benefits but from a fewer number of products, streamline their routine and cut out a few steps. I, at the time of doing that first impressions, was very much fixated on the single active ingredient and using multiple serums, layering to get the best value for me. I still do tend to like single active ingredients, but recently have been gravitating more towards those multifunctional products, which is why it's kind of a great time to take a second look at Hylamide. The whole brand is cruelty-free, which is a huge tick in the box from the start, and one of the reasons I first gravitated towards the brand. Their price point isn't as cheap as their sister brand, The Ordinary, but they're certainly not up there in terms of the bougie luxury price point. The average serum retails for around £14, $18, which I think is a reasonable price point when you consider that you're getting more than one active ingredient in most of these products. As with all brands, I'd say they have their ding 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 holy grails and their what total fails, and so let's just cut the waffle and dive straight on in. In the spirit of positivity, I'm going to start with those holy grails first. And whilst not every product from Hylamide worked for me and continues to be used in my skincare routine, one certainly did, and that's this product. This is the SubQ Skin. Honestly, it is so rare that you find a product that you put on your skin literally a couple of times and it becomes an instant holy grail. I loved this product so much that it actually became my #1 favourite serum of 2020, which I covered in a video, so I'll leave a link to that if you want to see kind of who it compares to. So good. This is a peptide fix in a bottle, and it's got multiple different peptides within here. Some are designed to hydrate the skin, which are fantastic. It's got some in here that are designed to add some brightness and even out the skin's complexion, but also it's got some anti-aging and collagen boosting peptides in here as well. This is really innovative technology because they haven't just reached for some of the standard peptides such as copper peptides out there. They've used variations of them to mean it works perfectly alongside a lot of other ingredients such as vitamin C's, which you wouldn't normally put alongside a product like this. It doesn't denature in the same way that you could say with the copper amino isolate serum by NIOD, so it's just a better, more flexible product, I find. For people that are new to peptides and kind of want a serum that does it all but is also easy to incorporate in their existing routine, this does it. This is a 10 out of 10 ding 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 holy grail, can't rave about this enough kind of product. It's up there in price point in terms of it being one of their more expensive products, but a little does go a long way. You don't need to be too lavish with this to still get the benefits, and I use this once a day for my peptide fix. Total win-win-win, and honestly I would recommend everybody check this out if they haven't already. I've left a link to this below alongside all the products good and bad that I mentioned in today's video if you do want to check them out. Maybe read some of the reviews which are available on the Hylamide website, or check the price point wherever you are in the world. But definitely we're off to a strong start. They also do a SubQ mist which sits alongside that. It's kind of like the SubQ Skin which I just mentioned, but in a mist form. They do have subtle differences in terms of their composition. The SubQ mist does have some alcohol in there. It's so hydrating, you won't find that the alcohol does dry the skin out, but I'm calling that out in case anyone does have a sensitivity to alcohol. It has some peptides in there, but it also has some great calming ingredients as well. You can, if you're feeling super bougie and super extra, you can do a spritz of the SubQ mist, then follow it with the SubQ Skin to just double down on that perfection in terms of hydration and anti-aging. I haven't got one on me at the moment because it was out of stock for a whole long time, but it did come back in stock recently recently, and I've got one on its way to me. So again, the link below does say where it's in stock, so if you are desperate to get your hands on it, you can definitely at the moment, or at the time of filming this video. Now I have two other products that worked so well for me for Hylamide. This is the Photography Fluid Foundation. It comes in 3 shades, a light, which is this one, they do a golden, which is kind of the medium tone, and they do a rich, which is the deeper, darker skin tones. I like that they've got multiple tonal options, and because it is very sheer, it's not a full coverage foundation, I find that the tones that they do are quite generous and will work for most skin tones out there. However, I do wish they had a broader shade range. I think that would be nice and something that they should think about doing in the future, just to be a little bit more inclusive. But this is such a great color corrector. If you have a little bit of redness in the skin, maybe you have, a zit that's maybe not faded properly, you might have some acne scarring and some hyperpigmentation associated with that, this will just take the edge off it. It certainly gives a no makeup look, so you don't look like you're wearing a full face of makeup. And that's great for people like me that, want to cheat that flawless look, but don't necessarily want to look like they're wearing makeup. And I do want my skin to be able to show through it. This will just color correct and take away any of that redness without feeling like you're wearing a mask. I love this product because it's one of the few color correctors and like BB cream style products that doesn't break me out. I have super reactive and acne prone skin, and normally those sort of creams just break me out and it's a no-go, but this works so well for me. I think I'm on my 3rd bottle of this. Honestly, it is just so good. If you're looking for that full coverage look, this isn't going to be the product for you, but for anyone else, I think it's a really nice one to include in your skincare routine. Finally, for the Holy Grails, is going to be their Matte 12 Primer. Now, this isn't strictly skincare, but honestly, it's become a holy grail of mine, and I feature it in most of my daily routines. The reason I love this product is because I'm someone that gets super oily by about midday. Whatever I use in my skincare routine, I'm a grease slick because my skin just produces so much oil. I don't tend to reach for traditional mattifying primers or powders because they're quite drying. How they work is they just soak up everything. Water, oil, all of it's just soaked up to keep the skin matte, but that can be quite drying, particularly if you already suffer with some dryness to the skin. This is almost unparalleled, I'd say, in terms of a mattifying product because it targets that oil. It soaks up that oil, but it doesn't soak up the water. So you're not losing hydration from the skin, but you are taking away some of that excess oil that leads to shine and like your makeup breaking apart by about midday. This is a really great product as well because it doesn't have any talc in it. Now, I think the jury's out there in terms of talc and how it interacts with our body, and that's a whole different discussion. But I made the decision a couple of years ago to try and just limit my exposure to talc and just to be on the safe side. And a lot of the traditional products do still contain talc, silica, and some other things that I'm just not a huge fan of in my own routine. This contains none of them, so it's kind of perfect for people that want to, limit their exposure to certain ingredients, but do want that beautiful matte complexion all day long. I find one bottle lasts me for literally like 6 months because I just target it on the T-zones where I get oily, and it works so well. Won't dry the skin out, but will keep you perfectly matte. It's like a miracle in a bottle. Now, I always say in these style of videos that whilst every brand has some hits, they also have some misses. I can't think of a single skincare brand out there that doesn't have a few fails, and of course Hylamide does have some of them amongst them. I'm going to start off with their Booster C25. This is a vitamin C serum, and for me it's just too strong. I mean, it's a pure form vitamin C, but it comes in at a 25% concentration, which I think for most people is just too strong. I found it quite irritating on my skin, and I did get some good results with it. It worked, but I just don't think the irritation was worth that. You can get some other really great vitamin C's, which I don't think lead to that same level of irritation and will still give you those great results. I captured some of my favorites in a recent video, so I'll leave a link to that. And this didn't feature in that favorites video, and I think there's just better products out there, and the strength is just a little bit too high for me. Similarly, they have a pore control serum, which I initially quite liked, and then I found it just to start to irritate my skin. And again, I think it comes down to the percentage concentrations of the actives they use. It's packed full of niacinamide, and it also has a large amount of dimethicone, that silicone feel in there, which means the texture isn't that great. It's slightly blurring on the pores, which some people like, but I find it leaves almost like a film on the skin, and that niacinamide is just too high a concentration for my skin to handle, and I started to find it caused some irritation, some light itching to the skin, so I just didn't use it. I think if you're not as sensitive to niacinamide as I am, this could be a great option for you, but I'm a great believer in a lower strength niacinamide used frequently. It delivers better results than going in for that real high strength niacinamide from the start, which is why this is a product I continued using. I gave it away to a friend who had some great results with it, but it's one of those products I would just probably caution people using in terms of it being a little bit high in terms of its strength. Similarly, they do a pore flush mist, which is designed to kind of complement this if you are suffering with large pores or if you've got some breakouts or clogged pores. This, I never liked this from the start. I didn't get what the purpose of it was. Through the ingredients, there's nothing in there that wowed me. There was nothing that I actually thought would have a meaningful impact on the size of my pores. I used it for a short period of time and I just noticed no difference. It gave a very light hydration, but you know, I have 100 different toners and mists in my collection that I could use and I prefer over this. So it was just a firm pass for me. I'd love to know in the comments below if you have any different thoughts on this product. Did it work for you? I hear that there was an original formulation of it quite a few years ago that people did love, but they switched up the formulation and I just never think it's been that great a product. They have a low molecular weight hyaluronic acid booster, which worked quite well for my skin, but I'm trying to limit the amount of hyaluronic acid I use in my routine. I find that it's in every single step of our skincare routine. Every product we buy has hyaluronic acid in, so do you really need a standalone hyaluronic acid? If you feel that you do, this is a great option, and it's definitely got different molecular weights, which means it'll do multi-level penetration in terms of the skin, which is an added benefit, and I think does justify a slightly higher price point. But the reason for me it's in the fails is it's not really adding anything additional to our skincare routine beyond just that hyaluronic acid. And I just don't think there's many people out there that need that standalone hyaluronic acid in their routine. Now, finally, for the misses, is the high efficiency face cleanser. Now this actually, I think I badged as a hit. I'll have to rewatch that video that I did my first impressions video I linked earlier, because I think I had this down as a hit at the time because I did really enjoy using this, but I found over a period of time it did start to break me out. Now I have very, very oily, acne prone skin anyway, and so I gave this to a friend who had drier skin to see if it worked better for them. They found the same issue, that whilst their skin was super dry and not particularly acne prone, they did find over time it started to break them out, and it wasn't actually giving that effective a cleanse anyway. I was surprised at that feedback because I thought it kind of would work for people with dry skin types, but I just don't think it's the most effective cleanser, and over time you might start to see that build up of blackheads and whiteheads as a result of using it. So I discontinued use, and I've just found some other amazing cleansers that I just think are so much better. If you're looking for a heavy duty cleanser, I did a recent video on that which I'll link up there. I just think there's so many better options out there, and this isn't something I would particularly recommend because the price point is quite high for a cleanser, and yet I don't think it is particularly effective. Now, before we finish this video, I do just want to mention one product, and the reason I left it to the end is because it's not in those ding 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 holy grail category, but it's also not a total fail. It's one of those products that sits in the middle, but I do think could have great benefit for your skincare routine, and that is their Sensitive Fix Serum. Now, this product, do I think it's going to do much for sensitive skin? Actually, not a whole lot. You know, in here there are some soothing ingredients which I would think will have a marginal benefit, but I don't think it's going to be as effective as some other ingredients in terms of tackling that sensitivity that you might have in your skin. The reason though it's not in the fails category is because this is beautifully pH balanced, and so I've started reaching for this as like the buffer that I use in my skincare routine before my low pH ingredients such as alpha hydroxy acids, vitamin C's, and my pH sensitive ingredients. So a really great example is if you're looking to use a peptide serum in the same routine as a vitamin C or exfoliating acid, you're going to want to buffer them because peptides can be denatured by low pH ingredients. So using something like this between them just restores the skin's natural pH to around 5.5 and allows you to follow with your peptide in exactly the same routine without having to worry about it interacting negatively. This is one of the most effective pH balancing buffering ingredients that I've been able to find, so I would definitely recommend if you're looking for something like that will deliver that balancing benefit, restore the skin's pH, and has some marginal benefit for skin sensitivity. This could be a really great product to reach for. I'd love to know if you found any other products that work in terms of that pH neutralizing and balancing effect, so leave me any of your recommendations below. But there you have it guys, my ultimate rundown of Hylamide, a year on from first trying the brand. I think I am more impressed by the ethos behind the brand that maybe I was when I first tried them. I do see what they're trying to do in terms of the multi-active formulations. I think a lot of their concentrations of actives are a little bit on the high side, even for me who doesn't really have, I'm not prone to sensitivity, and I found some of them a bit irritating. I think they could do some reformulations to minimize that and also just to tweak the strengths of those concentrations. But overall, I do think it's a really nice collection. In terms of the Matte 12, the SubQ Mist and SubQ Skin, and the Photography Fluid found foundation, those are like ride or die favourites of mine. And it's really rare to find so many holy grails from within one skincare brand. So from that alone, I'm super impressed with Hylamide. But I do think, with the exception of those products, the rest of their products do kind of fall into the miss category for me. But I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings on Hylamide. And hopefully this has just shed a bit of a light and an update on that previous video that I did. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.